Thanks.
Okay. I need to get my phone for this pizza.
Branded by Women is back, bigger and louder than before. Packed with 30 sessions taught by women who are leading the way in e-commerce, this event focuses on the vision, strategy, and tactics needed to get you unstuck and moving to the next level. 2020 has seen a growth in online shopping like never before. It had the highest year-on-year growth ever and shows no signs of slowing down. Whether you are just getting started, already own an e-commerce business, or are gearing up for an exit, the Branded by Women speakers will share stories, teach strategies, and give tips for achieving success. Expand your knowledge, be inspired, and let's achieve together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Branded by Women Day 2. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Thank you so much.
So happy to have some of my favorite people here. I think we're still waiting on a few to join, but in the meantime, it's so good to see you all. I love you, each one of you. Miss Lowe, thank you for being part of Branded by Women this year, and thank you for your support and your sponsorship. And Miss Cassandra with Helium 10, you're always there for us, and thank you for being not only part of Helium 10, but a really good and close friend of mine, and you are so special to me in my life. And Krystsina, my best friend in the whole world, thank you for being here. I know you and your busy, super busy life, you still made time to come here, so I appreciate you. And we have Miss Kellianne in the house. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Sorry, I'm a little late. Hi, ladies. It's so great to be here.
No worries. You know, we have a saying in Romania. We say that, you know, those who are important, they let themselves be waited on.
Oh, gosh, no. I don't feel that at all. Literally a call that I could not get off of.
Well, it's good to have you here. And Courtney, you are here with us all the way from Italy. Thank you so much for making it.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you. Everybody's commenting on my hair. Thank you, guys. I did this special for today. So, but I don't want to steal the show.
It is gorgeous, though. I can't stop looking.
Thank you. I appreciate each one of you for coming here. Today is day 2, Branded by Women. And I'm just so excited to host this with you ladies, each one handpicked because I love you, each one of you. So I want to start today, and I want to dive in a little bit into this whole concept of Branded by Women and what it means for each one of us, because we're all, I think, strong, powerful business women, which is why we're all here. And I want just to get just a few words from each one, starting with Ms. Lowe, if possible. What does this event represent to you?
Yeah, I mean, let me gather my thoughts here. Yeah, you know, for me, the year that I saw as, of course, a woman in the workplace, but also a mom, was incredibly challenging, and, you know, proved to me that, you know, advocacy for women in the workplace and for making sure that our voices are heard in business is important now more than ever. So it's just kind of a no-brainer that, you know, that I be here today and be celebrating this event with everyone this week. And that, you know, anyone who's watching knows that I am available to them, you know, if they are struggling with, you know, making their voice heard, or if they want to come work for us over at Elevate, but just making it clear that the doors are open and that we're there for each other. You know, it's been a crazy year, and I want to start, you know, fixing what was kind of what unraveled last year.
I love that. And when I first got introduced to Elevate Brands, you know, we were talking, and the CEO was telling me, like, we have this amazing lady, her name is Lo, and I think you would really like her. And she's very much about women empowerment and, you know, just women in power position, and I absolutely love that. So I'm just so happy to make your acquaintance, and I know we are working together, and we'll be working together for hopefully many years to come. And if there's anything I can ever help you guys with, I'm here for you. So thank you for that, Lo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to my bestie, Krystsina. How are you? I know you just had a small vacation, and now you came back and you've been working 24 hours, right? So tell us, how are you, and what does this event represent to you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. And thank you so much, Izabela, for having me over here as well when it comes to the Branded by Women and to be the part of this amazing event. Big thanks for the Danny. Big thanks for all the sponsors that sponsoring this event. The impact that the women in the community bringing to the table of e-commerce world, I think this is huge. And it's worked so hard, I think, for Danny and for everybody else to understand and get together the diamonds of the industry, whole female on the world with their presentations. Every female is unique. They have amazing experiences, and I'm very grateful to be able to share my experience, to give some knowledge what I have, and maybe give some advices, and as well the opportunity to listen to the other speakers, and just the idea of being the part of this event. And I think this is one of the biggest events in the history of the female empowerment in all e-commerce world. It's huge. And thank you so much, Izabela, for being the host. Thank you so much for Michelle and Athena and everybody else participating here. And ladies, that's a big honor for me, and I'm grateful to be here with you today.
Krystsina, you always have the best speeches ever. Like you always know what to say. So thank you so much for the kind and loving words. Thank you. And you should be here in my house right now, but we'll talk about that later. Miss Cassandra, you always look so beautiful, and your energy, I can feel it through the screen, girl. So how are you today? I know you're here in San Diego, so I look forward to seeing you later. And please tell us, what does this event represent to you?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, you look gorgeous today. Thank you so much for having me. We are working on a little side secret project, so we'll definitely be releasing more information about that soon. For this event, Branded by Women, Danny McMillan, Athena, Michelle, yourself, Izabela, bringing women to the forefront is something I think we have needed in this industry for a while. I think as women, we do a lot, and then we kind of almost think, oh, we're still not doing enough. And I think this is a great way to showcase all of our excellence and really see all these badass women come together and show off their stuff. And there's a story behind it, there's strategy behind it, and we're not even done yet. This is only half the story. So we're only halfway there, and there's so many more stories to tell, strategies and tactics to evolve to. And that's why I'm really proud to be a part of it.
I love that. And you guys are at Helium, and you personally, you've always supported everyone in the community, whether they're women or men. But I'm especially grateful that we have this close connection, and you always think of me whenever there's some event or some situation. So I really appreciate that. And the fact that you guys are always sponsoring Branded by Women, that's huge. It shows not only me, but the whole world that, what kind of culture you have, just always behind everybody, supporting everyone, wanting everyone to succeed. So that's huge. Thank you, Cassandra. And beautiful Kellianne, thank you so much for being here with us today. We still need to talk about having you on my podcast, because I think your story is amazing and what you do is absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to have you on today because, I feel like I resonate a lot with you and your brilliance and how spectacular you are. I know I'm like, I got a bad tips, but you really are. You're very special. So please tell us what this event means to you.
Well, first and foremost, just on a personal level, I just feel so grateful to be included, because most of my interactions and relationships and colleagues since I got into e-commerce have been mostly with men. And I have yearned to bonded with the female powerhouses, such as the women that are representing Branded by Women. So I just feel so grateful to have been invited by Danny and grateful to be here today. and I hope I get invited back. I agree with everything that Lo and Krystsina and Cassandra just shared in terms of it being a really unique opportunity for women to come together and be highlighted and recognized, because I think that women face a lot of unique challenges that men don't. Let's just be honest, it's true. And especially women, it doesn't matter if you are married or have kids, but women are just, I think, born multitaskers. They feel like they never give enough. They always put themselves last. I'm not trying to stereotype here. I know from all of my female friends, regardless of the industry, I used to be a lawyer, so it was the same there. It's like you're always having to feel like if I'm doing work, then I'm neglecting my kids or my family or my friends or my extended family. If I am, working with my children on their homework, I should be working on my business. And it's a constant struggle that we have to face to find that, for lack of a better term, work-life balance. And I feel like all the women here have incredible lives, but they're also kicking ass as entrepreneurs. And I think that that's something that everybody can look up to, men and women included.
Oh my God, so good. I want to come back to everything you said, but we'll definitely have to talk about this in more detail, because it's such an important aspect of everybody's lives, and especially women that are in business, and we do all feel that we need to control that balance. And I do myself. I mean, I have a 5-year-old, and I don't always feel like I'm doing my best when it comes to motherhood. I feel like I put most of my attention towards business, and then I have those guilty feelings, and it's just like a cycle. It keeps going back and forth. If I give him too much attention, then I don't put enough attention in my business, and then it's like, where is that balance? So thank you for bringing that up, because I think that's crucial. But moving on to very special person in my life, Miss Courtney. So Courtney, ladies, if you don't know, she has been my mentor for over a year, plays a huge role in my life. Huge. We speak every single week, every Tuesday. And every Tuesday I tell her, I'm like, oh my God, it feels like I haven't talked to you in months. And, the energy and the vibes that she gives me, and the everything she says, I bring into my heart and into my soul. So thank you for being here, Courtney. You know how much I love you. So you can say a few words and tell us what this event represents to you.
Well, it is most definitely a mutual admiration society. I mean, you're incredible. All of these women, I mean, to follow up after you, I feel like I just want to keep listening to all of you speak. So it feels a little bit like, what do I say after all of that? Definitely the points you were just talking on touch home for me in terms of what I call being miserably successful. Like, I think a lot of people are chasing these gold stars, right? Our society says you have to do this and this other thing and have this possession and whatever else it is in order to feel like you're enough. And I think an event like Branded by Women and by her, thank you so much, Izabela, for having me, and Danny and everyone in the team, Carrie, who worked so hard to put this event together. I think for me, what it shows is this, there's a better way. There's a better way, and we can find that better way. And I know that, my life is proof of that, in the sense that, yeah, I'm able to do those things and feel that I can take as many breaths as I want in between and do as much as I want to feel good in my own skin, in my own life, and how I'm leading it. And I can step outside of all of the boxes and the parameters that have been set by society in order to do that. And I think Branded by Women is a great example of women stepping up, showing other women, look, I've done it and you can do it too. And yeah, so I'm super, super happy to be here and to discuss whatever y'all wanted to talk about today.
I love that. I know that's it's almost a weekly subject for us. This empowerment, and it doesn't matter how powerful you are or powerful you think you get, we still need somebody to back us up. And I feel like, Courtney, you are that for me. You're always my my support. And whenever whether I'm down or I'm up, you're always there to teach me more and show me there is more. So it just shows me the importance of having that support system, whether it's your friend or your sister or a coach or whoever you have. I think it's so great. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being Branded by Women. And I can't wait for your presentation and for all of you. So next thing I want to do, ladies, if you don't mind, I'd like to go to each one of you and maybe discuss a little bit about what you are presenting in your presentation for those that haven't been able to watch it just yet, and what can they look forward to. So we'll start again with Lo, if you don't mind.
Oh man, I keep having to go first. Okay. So yeah, my presentation is, is there an echo? No, okay. My presentation is branding and archaeology and the similarities between the two fields. For me, I mean, it was probably just an excuse for me to dig into my archaeology books and refresh on some of my favorite finds. But for me, when I'm doing a branding study, which is really my favorite part of all the crazy things that I do, it really reminds me of digging, right? Like you're digging into history, you're trying to capture the clues and the smoke signals in the cave paintings. You know, who are the humans that were here? What can I learn from the clues they left behind? And really, ever since I got into branding years and years and years ago, like that felt like such a beautiful, intuitive process that came so naturally to me. And, you know, I studied photography, by the way, Courtney, I love the photo behind you. I studied photography in college, and it all just kind of came together. It's like this ability to look and see what's in front of you. And then adding on top of that, this archiving and data sorting that made it really interesting, where you could take all different types of information and find universal tags and then learn really the full picture of that culture, that ecosystem that was there. And for me, the parallels are pretty clear. And so I kind of unpack those parallels and also dip into some of the tricks that I use when I'm doing my own archaeological brand study. So that, yeah, that's what my speech is about.
I love that. I love that you're bringing a whole new perspective, because this is all there is, you know, marketing and branding. It's bringing something new to the table that hasn't been maybe looked into too much. So bringing this side, I think it's so brilliant. And for those who will be watching your presentation, should definitely consider looking into what are all the other ways that we could brand a product or your company or whatever it is that you're doing, because there's not just one single way. And I think, you know, in the recent past, we've all kind of tried to copy too much, which I have no problem copying. I think it's still a very useful skill and there's no need to reinvent the wheel, but there's just so many different ways that you can do the same thing to reinvent yourself and to rebrand without even changing too much, just looking at different perspectives. So I think this will really open a lot of eyes, your presentation and what you're bringing to the table. So thank you for that, Lo. Thank you. You're amazing. Miss Krystsina, are you ready to talk about your presentation? You will have to unmute yourself.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So my presentation is about the importance of implementing Amazon posts, the importance of the video, and using social media into the brand awareness and recognition your brand. So while talking about the Amazon, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. I'm talking about the free tool that's called Amazon Post. Me as a seller myself and every other seller, we know how important and how expensive PPC on Amazon is, and spending thousands of dollars every day. Now we have a free tool that's called Amazon Post, and it gives a pretty good conversion, and how to set it up the way that your listing is getting conversions, you're getting recognized while we're doing the shopping on Amazon. As well, I will be talking about the videos, the video ads. We know that right now you have an amazing opportunity to put the video ads on your product, not only your detailed product page, but also on your competitors page underneath or up the listing, also in your storefront and many other places. So what should be in these 20 to 30 seconds on your video, what you should pay attention to while uploading the video on Amazon, how to make it converting to the max, that would be what I'm talking about. And the other thing, and it's probably Cassandra's favorite topic, that I will be talking about the social media. Being the Amazon seller, many people just focus on Amazon. They never look that there is Instagram, there is Facebook, and they can build their business pages there and bring the traffic out there. So how to bring external traffic to your Amazon listings using the tools that help you to build your brand, be your brand recognizable through the competition within a social media panel. So these are the things that I will be discussing during my presentation, and I think that there are many insights that I've been working, and I get this knowledge through my own experience, building the brands, selling the products on Amazon, and trying many tools that made them profitable and made them successful.
Thank you, Krystsina. You guys, I work with Krystsina closely every single day, and I don't know one person that works harder than this woman. Like we could be talking about anything, like, oh, let's go shopping, and the next thing you know, it turns into what we can do for Amazon. Like her mind is always spinning. It never takes a break. Even when we say we're taking a break, we're not really taking a break. We're just coming up with more and more ideas. So Krystsina, thank you for being in my life. You are an inspiration and a badass and super hard worker. And I look forward to one day becoming, maybe 10% of what you do. So thank you. Miss Cassandra.
Oh, thank you, Izabela. And I have to say, corroborating what you're saying, yes, Krystsina is the hardest working woman. We have attended many brunches where I have my mimosa in hand and she'll say, "Where's your laptop? Let's work." So I'm like, oh, I thought it was something different. So I completely agree. But on to my presentation, I also have to give a big shout out to Danny because he kind of pulled me out of my comfort zone. I think a lot of times when we're proposed to do these events, we go into, okay, 10 social media tactics to take you to the top or something. And he's like, oh, let's go a little deeper. And I really, at first I was hesitant, but I appreciate him. And I trust his instinct. And so I did behind the scenes of kind of working in Hollywood, starting in the social media marketing space. And especially at that time, I started in like 2010, 11. And social media was so new. So there's this like old school, new school, push, pull, people who get it, people who don't get it, people who say, get out of here, kid, don't bother me. And kind of talking about all those behind the scenes moments and, how sometimes things aren't always as glamorous as they seem, working so many hours and, not feeling like I have time for myself or my personal life, but then of course there's this post on social media of me, interviewing Nicole Kidman or something. And it's like, well, what do you have to complain about? So you kind of have to go into that behind the scenes of how all these, trials and tribulations and people who are maybe not so nice or not as supportive, especially women not supporting other women in the industry, and kind of seeing how that makes you who you are today. And I think that's also why I'm so thankful for people like you, Izabela, Krystsina, in my life, because we do support each other personally, professionally. I think all of us do. And we can all reach out to each other, whether it's on LinkedIn or Instagram, whereas that was something I didn't feel like I had in that industry that I do in e-commerce and with the Amazon space. So I'm kind of getting the behind the scenes, the ups, the downs, and everything in between.
I love it. So, Cassandra, so you worked in Hollywood. For a lot of people that don't know this, because, you are pretty much the face of Helium 10. But a lot of people don't really know your background. So do you feel like, coming from that side, like gave you so much strength? Like what were some of the things that you had to overcome to become the person you are working in Hollywood?
And I think similar to a lot of entrepreneurs, I always had a passion for it. And, I kind of fell into like social media, journalism, kind of segue there. And then found myself on set. I worked for Fox, MGM, IMAX, and, again, it seems really, glamorous and all these amazing things are happening. But like my first job, I was so young and fresh and new. And my boss was this veteran in the industry, and she didn't want anything to do with me. She didn't like me at all. And so that made it very difficult to get things through. And, you know, even remembering back in like that time zone, you know, Twitter had just been taking off. And you remember like American Idol had like tweets and crawls across the screen. I had pitched that idea, but because I didn't go to her first, it got nixed. And we could have been one of the first like court shows, daytime court shows to do that. But all because of like an ego, that didn't come through. And so I think we don't see that in that industry. In this industry now, it's kind of, if there's a great idea, if there's someone you can lean on, you take it, you run with it, and you support each other. Whereas, you know, a lot of insecurities, personal things kind of play a big role behind the scenes in Hollywood, you know, and going into now, there's Gen Z, millennials, you know, you still got the boomers, and everyone's kind of trying to prove themselves and keep and hang on tight to their titles, if you will. So I don't feel that way in this industry. And I think the camaraderie is so much better, so much higher, and more supportive.
But was your boss a woman?
Yes.
And
that's what was even more surprising. It was even more, you know.
So did you get a lot of resistance because you were younger, or because you were kind of, you know, more free spirit? Like I'm curious. Like what happened?
I would say it was both of those. I would say I was this kind of bubbly, you know, hi, I'm here and let's tweet and hashtag this. And she was just like, yeah, no, this is bothering me, or this is taking up too much time on set. And I think it was just, I think it was a personality clash, but I also think there was an element of the unknown. And I think people don't like things they don't understand. And that could have been a big part of our clash, and why, you know, maybe I didn't get, you know, maybe thrive as much and things like that, or get the recognition that, you know, I had kind of put out there that maybe some of my male counterparts did.
Gotcha. So did that last a while, that relationship, or you quickly moved on to something else? I have to close this chapter. You cannot leave me hanging. I need to know.
I love you. I was there for about 4 seasons of the show. So it's about 2.5 years. And then I moved over to MGM and I did another court show. And then that also just kind of parlayed into doing film for IMAX, Paramount Studios. So I'm very thankful for all of the experience, because I think one thing always leads to the next and you learn each time.
I feel like we should do a documentary on Cassandra Craven. I think that's what should be next on the table. So thank you so much for diving in a little bit into your story. I want to know everything. So maybe over the next brunch with mimosas and all that, we'll just have Krystsina leave her laptop at home, and then we'll talk. Kellianne, over to you. Again, thank you for being here. Let us know what your presentation is about, please. I think you're muted, maybe, or no, you're not muted.
No, I don't think I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to just echo really quickly, though, what Cassandra was talking about what I love most about this industry is the camaraderie, like men and women. I never feel like there's a sense of competition, but it's not targeted towards any one specific person. It's just, you know, you want to be competitive, you want to be the best and thrive. So, I mean, I'm just so grateful to be in this industry. And so my presentation is about how to create a highly valuable and sellable Amazon business, and really all about the different tips to prepare your business for your biggest payday, because your biggest payday comes not from your yearly profits or your salary that you take. It comes from when you sell your business. And I'm so passionate about building and selling e-commerce businesses as a actual business model to create wealth, because you do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times. I mean, by then you've most likely created complete financial freedom for yourself. A lot of people just on their first sale. So I sold my business back in, basically closed in February of 2019. But prior to that, I really sought to educate myself on how to really do the best that I could do with my business to prepare it for sale and get the maximum value. And I found that there was not a lot of education out there. So I was bound and determined at that time to create resources for other sellers. And so I created a podcast with a partner called Amazing Exits. And so the presentation for Branded by Women really dives into, becoming empowered and educated about your exit options and knowing your intentions for your business. Like what do you want out of your business long-term and why? Knowing your why is so important. And I think so many of us, we get into selling, e-commerce selling, creating an Amazon business for lifestyle freedom, for financial freedom. But then along the way, we get caught up in the grind and the hamster wheel and, learning the latest PPC ranking strategies and all this kind of stuff. And we kind of lose sight of, okay, why am I running this business? Like what is the end goal here? And I truly believe that all entrepreneurs should have an end goal. And, 2020 was the breakout year for the buying and selling of Amazon businesses, specifically with all of the aggregators coming onto the scene. And it's such an exciting time to be an Amazon seller and to have a business that's sellable. And you need to take steps and be educated on how to make it sellable and most viable. So when you sell to an aggregator like Elevate Brands, you're getting the maximum value for your business.
Oh, I love that so much. And one question I have is around this. Do you feel like now, because of all the aggregators coming up, and thank you, Elevate Brands, for sponsoring this event, do you feel like a lot more people are tend to be more interested now than they used to be a few years ago? Do you feel like they're preparing more now? Like, what is your take on what's happening right now in selling businesses?
Well, in terms of sellers, yes, I think sellers are very interested in knowing, how to maximize the value of their businesses and all that takes, and scaling profitably, and knowing when is the best time to sell their business. I think it's become a topic that's gotten a lot of attention. A lot of it because these billions of dollars have poured into the industry with these aggregators that have been funded by, private equity groups. And so it's a very hot topic. It's definitely become hot on Clubhouse and other forums. And I'm just so thrilled to be a part of that because, we're not brokers, we're not aggregators, we're not M&A advisors. We are actually sellers, myself, Paul and I. He still is running his brand, preparing for an exit. I sold my brand, but I still consult with brands on how to successfully scale. And I just want to be able to, create as many multimillionaires as possible. And that's truly is possible when it comes time to selling your brand. And I'm sure, like Lo feels the same way. It must be so gratifying to, make millionaires out of sellers, that are, working and putting their blood, sweat, and tears into these businesses. So I think it's a hot topic from both sides for sure.
I love that, creating millionaires. That's literally my motto. I don't have it tattooed on me, but if I were to have one, it would be my goal.
Together.
I want to create millionaires, and I can luckily say that I was able to do that with my company, and we do this almost daily. We create millionaires, and there's not a better feeling than knowing that you are helping somebody be financially free. And it's almost like a selfish pleasure. It's like we want to do good for them, but really we feel good inside. Like, yeah, I did that. Like I was able to do that. So thank you for mentioning that. I think what you do is amazing. One more question. It's I guess I want to know personally, but how do you know when to sell? Because you touched a little bit on that, and I tend to find to meet a lot of sellers who are holding on to their brands beyond what they should. I mean, it's definitely an emotional connection that they have with that, but when is it time to let go?
That is an excellent question, and it's something that I go through in the presentation. Timing your exit is super important. But planning for it is the most important thing. So we hear a lot in our industry about working on your business versus in your business. So working on your business involves, systematizing it. It involves things like knowing what your profitability is, knowing what your bottom line, profit is in your business, your cash flow, and being able to project kind of when is going to be the best time to sell this business so that I can get maximum value for it. And that is always when you are on the way up. So, generally we see Amazon sellers, launch their startup business and they can be reaching 7 figures within a year, right? Well, they still need to have a little history behind them. So I would say like once you reach that $1 million mark or hit that like year 1, year 2 mark, that's when you should start at least planning for your exit, whether that's going to be that year or 10 years from now, because you want to sell when you're on a high note. Nobody wants to buy a business when it's flatlined or it's going down. And if you've had a business for like 5 or 6 years, I mean, I had my business for
basically 6 years up until the time it sold. And I had some peaks and valleys in the beginning, but when I sold it, I was on this upward trajectory. You want to sell when you're showing growth, and you want to be able to show a lot of growth opportunities, which means leaving like meat on the bone. Like you don't want to go pursue every other sales channel and every other international marketplace, because a new buyer wants to be able to grow the business. They don't want to be able to just maintain it where it is. So those are just some things that go into it. But bottom line, it's a very personal decision. But you definitely want to sell before you're sick of it. That's for sure. So start planning early, put it into your workflow, plan once a week to just kind of become educated on what you need to do, get your financials in order and all that.
Do you think a lot of people they're not ready to sell because they haven't prepared? Or do you think it's more of an emotional connection? Like it's like their baby? Or do you think it's both, a combination of both? Like, what do you think makes somebody hold on so hard?
I think it's both. It's really hard. I know for me personally, that brand that I built was my baby, and to sell it was a very emotional decision. But my reasons for selling were to take some financial chips off the table. I didn't like having a huge part of our family's net worth tied up in inventory, right? Knowing that Amazon could shut down the account anytime they wanted to. So that was like a de-risking factor. And then also I wanted some financial independence. So I didn't achieve complete financial freedom where I can just kick up my heels on the beach for the rest of my life and not work again. I'm never going to stop working. I'm going to work forever till the day I die. But it created such a huge peace of mind to have that money in the bank and know that it's there. And it's allowed me so many opportunities to pursue other passions like real estate investing and other types of investing, and then also helping other people with their exits. And so it's a very personal decision, but you really want to think about what you want from your business long-term and why. It really comes down to that. If you've created a cash flow stream that's predictable and stable, and you've systematized your business so you can still have a life, which I highly recommend, then maybe you'll never sell it. Maybe it doesn't make sense to ever sell it. But if you, want to have financial security or complete financial independence or, freedom, then you've got a plan in order to hit those numbers.
I love that, having a life plan. I think we should all root more for that. And
exactly, I know so many entrepreneurs that are miserable, and they didn't start out to be that way, right? Because they're they're working too hard.
We all start a business because we want to be happy. We want to get to that point of like, okay, now I have enough that I can do all these things. But then I feel like we get stuck in the way. We're like, oh, I need to hold on to it because maybe this is it.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are watching that have been battling with this thoughts of like, should I sell, should I not? I mean, I think those are some very wise words, and I hope they're going to do what needs to be done. Not that I'm pushing anybody to sell their business, but
I would also add, like, it's about finding like the right steward for your brand. In-house here at Elevate, we're always talking about like, you're sending your kid off to college. It's not that you don't want them to go to college, you do. You want them to go to like the perfect college for them. And so it's really about finding a buyer that aligns with your vision for the brand and communicating your vision for the brand with the buyer and seeing kind of where that dialogue leads. I think that's an important piece to feeling really good. It is an emotional journey. And so making sure that buyer aligns with you on that emotional level as well.
Yeah. It sounds like making the list will be good. Like, okay, these are the pros, these are the cons, and usually there are probably a lot more pros and cons because some things that we hold on, it's probably just our like insecurities and all this. Like, could I ever do this again? But if you're able to build a 7, 8, 9-figure business, you can probably do it again. And even if you can't, like, you learn some skills that you can implement into other businesses. So, and what is life if not to like try different things and fail and learn and continue on. So thank you both, Lo and Kellianne, for your input. Miss Courtney, I want to hear all about your presentations. I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it like the last piece of that I'm going to really enjoy. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, I'm following all you ladies. I'm like, okay, wait, I got to get out of here. I got to go watch these presentations. It's almost 9 o'clock at night. I don't know if I'm going to do a marathon with these tonight, but I'm really excited to
And
watch.
it's just day 2. So for those that are watching, I know in Italy it's already super late, but just to let you know, it's just day 2. We still have a day. There's still time to sign up. So thank you for mentioning that, because this is important for those who are overseas. So thank you, Courtney.
Right, we're in the future kind of over here. Anyway, so my presentation, well, the title of my presentation is How to Get What You Want Fast. And I use that acronym FAST because I wanted to share some of the principles, not practices necessarily, but principles that have helped me do a lot of what I've done, right? So I always get questions like, I don't know, how did you write a best-selling book, or how did you get on the TEDx stage, or how did you also work with Hollywood, Cassandra? I love that. Or though you were saying about this picture, I got this photograph when I moved to Italy. Sorry, I got some stitches on my hand lately. I got this picture when I moved to Italy 20 years ago, and it's called American Girl in Italy, and it's actually quite intense. It's an intense picture. It brings up a lot of different things. I think all good art makes you reflect on things. So I've always gotten questions like this, how did you do that? And so I wanted to demystify a lot of that in my presentation. And again, it's not about giving the 5-step process to whatever, because, to your point, Cassandra, about going deeper, I think, we really do. We need to go a lot deeper than that. And I feel like one of the things I always tell people when they come to me, or organizations, companies, universities, I say, I don't have your answers. I'm not the one who has your answers, but you do have your answers. And so my presentation is really about how you source those answers in a way that, you can get where you're going a lot quicker than when you're in what I'm hearing from a lot of you, kind of this rat race of, again, that miserably successful, because I also know what it's like to get to that point. I talk about that a lot, even in the intro to my book, is I had everything that was supposed to make me happy, but I just wasn't happy. So what was missing, and what was that about? And so, so that's in a nutshell what my presentation is.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear about it. I mean, for those that don't know Courtney, I mean, she's living the life in Italy. Always telling me about her beautiful trips. You just went to France recently, and beautiful walks near the water. And we all want to live that life. So I definitely want to dive into your presentation.
And I think we want to live the life that's not the picture. It's not the idea. It's not someone else's script about what it means to be successful. It's your script. It's your picture. And to know that you can change that whenever you want. I think, Kellianne, to your point about just, knowing where you want to end up, right? Knowing what's my end game, and then letting that end game shift, continuously kind of letting that shift, but on your terms, in a way that you decide. And I also think, we're talking about branding here, and I don't talk about this in my presentation, but I think marketing and branding is really what all of you are doing here, which is just presenting extraordinary work and really just showing up as you are, in this real, raw, I'm here, I want to connect. This camaraderie that you're all talking about, I think that's actually where the magic happens. And I think just as long as you are authentically, and I'm kind of hesitant to throw that word authentic around because it's getting abused quite a lot lately, but as long as you're just staying real and raw to what's true for you, what's really true for you, I think that's the ultimate branding. That's what we're looking for when we want to work with someone, is we want to work with someone who can remind us of our potential and allow us to step fully into that potential. And that's really where my work is directed.
I love that, Courtney. And I love that you mentioned that we should stay true to ourselves, because even though we all want the glamorous life, we all want the jets and this, what is it that makes us happy in the end? What is it like? Yeah, it looks cool. It looks like that's what everybody else wants, but a lot of people get there because of their determination, and then they feel stuck. They're like, well, I worked so hard to get here, and now I'm here, and why doesn't it not feel good? So I think finding early on, what is it that will make you happy? Maybe it's not the jets. Maybe it's just fishing peacefully at a lake. It may not be, $100,000 trip, it can be 1,000, but that will make you more happy than anything else. So finding that early on, I think it's such a key, because you're no longer putting all that pressure on you. And I think a lot of us put unnecessary pressure. I mean, we do this all the time in our work and in our jobs and personal and everything else that we do. So thank you for touching on those special points. And I think everybody's going to love your presentation, Courtney. Thank you. So for my presentation, since we went around, I talk about 4 lessons of self-mastery. I mean, there's a million of them, but I picked 4 because I really wanted to dive into like what was very important for me, like my decision coming from Romania and what that took at such an early age, and then coming to United States and learning how to stand up for myself. Because coming from a communist country, one thing that it's really prevalent in such a culture is, how to be submissive, how to be quiet, how not to speak up, how to listen, and, whatever, all the rules, they have to be followed exactly by every single person. So growing up and not having any other outlets that I can look towards to, I thought that was it. So when you are programming yourself in that manner at such an early age, of course, you're going to be some kind of screwed up in the future. So, I was able to, come here, and then I started seeing some things, with the first family that I lived in that, I thought they crossed some boundaries. And it was not until I learned to say no that I really discovered the power of that. Because, we were always told to say yes to everything. Doesn't matter how hurtful, how painful, how shameful, how whatever it is. If they say you have to do it, it's just something you do. And then I've always felt inside of myself like, no, like I have to say no to some things. Like I have to respect myself, but I never said no. So it was like, I was like strangled by my own, a person. I couldn't say no, but, it took me months to gather that courage to say no. And exactly when I said no, exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. So like the family kicked me out. They're like, you know what, we're done with you. And this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. I was afraid of, and that's exactly what I got. But it was the perfect thing, because after that, what happened after, it took me to a whole nother lifetime. Like even while I even moved states, I went from Massachusetts to California, and you'll see that in my presentation. But it created such a beautiful path for me, just that one decision. So every time I started putting boundaries and saying no to the things I did not feel that they align with who I am, the next step took me further and further and further and better. So now I was gathering facts, I was gathering data on every time I said this is what happened. Every time I gave in, I felt bad, I felt guilty, I felt this. So I was like weighing my options, but it's such a cool thing to learn at such a young age without somebody having to teach that to me. And it's very hard when you learn it yourself. But what a great way to learn. And that's why even today in everything that I do, every time I have a failure in anything, it sucks for the moment, but then I'm like, where's the lesson? What is it that I'm learning? It's always, I'm looking forward to that. Because a lot of people go through their life and they're like, you know what? I just want to be successful. And I hear you. I want to be successful too. But if you just continue successful at this rate and you don't really go down and up again, you just kind of constant, you're not really learning much. Yeah, you're going to be successful at some point, but what is life if you cannot learn and you cannot enjoy those ups and downs? Because when you go down, like you're really going to appreciate when you're up. And not only the appreciation, but also the lessons. And, a lot of people, when they fail, a lot of them kind of just go inside themselves and say, you know what, I'm a failure. I will never do this again. And then they end up, falling off the path. But for me, when that happens, I'm like, you know what? This is exciting. Like, okay, I lost money or I lost this, but what is it that I learned from this? And I take that and I put it on to my next step in life. So this is just a little bit of, what I'm going to be presenting. But so far, we got great feedback on all the presentations from day one. So if you haven't signed up yet, please go and watch all our presentations. one more thing before we go, ladies, because it's 2021, right? We just kind of missed the whole year. Even now, I keep putting 2020. I'm like, can we like rewind and go back a year? Like, I don't want to say how old I'm turning next month, but I want to scratch this year off, and I want to turn again what I turned last year, because can we just write it off? We can, right? Good. But I want to know just maybe one thing that you can all say, what is it that you're planning to do this year? And maybe some inspirational words for those who have lost hope in the days to come and months to come. And Lord, you don't mind if you go first, right? It's your favorite thing to do.
All right. Well, of course, there's plenty of personal goals in the year, but on the work front, my goal is to build a real example of what a pretty big, thriving team can look like as we step into the future. One of my favorite things is, mentoring my team and nurturing the people that work within my team, and coming to Elevate as the CMO was just a huge opportunity to do just that, to build an incredible team and make sure that they had everything they needed to thrive. So, my favorite goal of the year, there are many, but I think my favorite is making sure that comes true for all the people that work within this group, that they get to show up to a job that they love and work with colleagues that they appreciate and have fun with and admire. That's the big goal for me. Seeing people thrive, there's just no better feeling. So
I love that. Thank you, Lo, so much for that. And I see big things happening at Elevate Brands, and especially now that you are on the team, they got really lucky to have you. I always said that whenever there's a power woman in the mix, because we have it all. We have the mindset, and we also know what it means to like struggle with different things, and we're also calm under pressure. So there's so many things that you bring into the table. So thank you, Lo. Miss Krystsina, what are your plans? Just tell us 100 of them, not all a million, please. Just keep the list short. Tell us what you're up to, and where do you see this year going, in personal or business, whatever you want to tell us. We have to, let's see, I think you're muted.
Okay, good. I see personal already seen my Facebook, Instagram. They're all happy for me. Anyway, I could say that 2020, even though it was bad year for everybody else, for me it brought the harmony that I was looking for a long time. I'm at the place of my life when I have a good work, personal life balance, and I'm very, very happy for that. When it comes to my plans, my inspiration, my thing that I wish for to get in 2021, I think like everybody else, I want to become a better human every day of my life. It doesn't matter, better professional, better, stronger business owner, better friend for you and for my other friends. Better female, many, many, many things. And, you cannot be successful in all of them. But the thing you can do is just trying to be better, trying to be stronger. And I want to remind all of the ladies here, and all of the speakers and all of them, people who are listening to us right now, life is never be always up. It's going to be up and down, and try to find inspiration, try to find joy, and try to find something that makes you happy every single day. Maybe a small piece of chocolate, a coffee, new shoes, talk with your friends. Try to be a help, or try to be happy in something that's going to lighten up your day. And it's important for us as for the females, because when we feel good, when we feel beautiful, when we feel like life is okay, at least for this very second, it makes the life in general better for us, and it gives the whole new perspective. And here on Branded by Women, we need to know that day two is still live. There is so many speakers that is going to bring you inspiration, that's going to bring you motivation to become better human, to become better professional, become professional, many, many, many things. I think this is the place where if you feel a little bit down, if you feel lack of motivation in any sphere of your life, that's where you have to be. As I said, day two is still live. Please join the speakers, listen to them, sign up. And I hope that Branded Way Women is gonna make your life at least a little bit better, do things and motivate you to do the things that you have never been doing before, and help you. Thank you so much.
And I can vouch for her. There's definitely at least 2-3 pairs of shoes coming almost every day to her house. So she really takes her her ideas very seriously. And sometimes they show up in my house too. And she said, "Listen, I just got this for you. It will look great on you. Just put it on." I'm like, "Okay, I must." So thank you, Krystsina, for being an amazing friend to me. Not a good friend. You're an amazing. You're a light in my life. So. Thank you. Miss Cassandra, how about yourself, my love?
I don't know if I can top Krystina's. That was
very hard.
I have to say that was pretty good. So I think, with Helium 10, we're always trying to outdo ourselves. We're always going bigger and better. And I can say that I will be doing the same in social media, professional space, strengthening relationships, building relationships with new existing entrepreneurs, Amazon sellers. I think part of what I missed the most because of 2020 was that in-person interaction, our Helium 10, office visits and things like that. So kind of finding this new way to reconnect with everyone, being more innovative, more cutting edge. And I would say personally, I would like to get out of the house and go back and travel more. I'm done seeing the 4 walls I look at all day during work. So definitely getting back out there and, getting back in the swing of things. That's my personal goals.
I love it. And you're definitely you started traveling a little bit. At least you came from Orange County to San Diego. So that's a huge step. It's about an hour drive, guys. But we thank you for being in our presence, Cassandra. Like I told you, I could feel your energy as soon as you crossed the county line. Cassandra's in the house. So thank you.
I love you.
Love you too. Miss Kellianne, what are your plans for this year?
Well, again, as Cassandra said, it's going to be really hard to top what the last 3 ladies before me said. But what I've been thinking of, and I think it kind of sums up what everybody shared so far, is I just want to thrive. I don't want to survive during these, uncertain times. I want to thrive, and I want my family to thrive, and I want to inspire others to thrive. So for me personally, that means traveling. I've done quite a bit of traveling these last couple months, just to one place, and it's my favorite place in the whole wide world, Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And I've been there several times, and my husband and I just went back there last week, and we decided to buy a place, and we're going to move there in 4 years, because that is where we feel like we're going to thrive. And that's when my youngest daughter will have graduated from high school. So that's like a huge personal life goal, and super excited. We're still going to have our place in California, but I'll tell you, this last year was really tough on me emotionally. Not for me, because I'm still working at home and get to see all my friends and colleagues online, but for my daughters. We live in Los Angeles, and they have not gone to school since March of last year. So to see them every day, just doing this same monotonous routine of getting on their computers and being on there for 6 hours straight for school, and being shut down, it's been really hard on me. And to try to imagine what kind of world they're going to grow up in. I mean, it's so uncertain. We don't know. So we just want to be able to show them that, listen, no matter what the circumstances are, you make your own life, and there's plenty of opportunities. So that's on the personal side. On the business side, I'm going to continue what I'm doing with Amazing Exits. And the best thing of having our podcast has been connecting with other great entrepreneurs and hearing other stories of successful entrepreneurs and people in the industry of Amazon and selling Amazon businesses. And I also am going to be, I can't announce it, the name yet, but I am going to be working with a new aggregator on the scene. We've been in stealth mode for quite a while, and so I'm going to be working very closely with them. But my goal is to really just educate sellers to find the best fit for them. It's not about, there's plenty of opportunity for every buyer and every seller out there of businesses. And so you really just want to make sure that you find the best fit for you. So.
Oh, I love it. So good. And I know we don't have much time, but what you said, about the kids being stuck at home, and it's almost like they have to be adults all of a sudden. This is what we do. And we don't even like it. We want to be out there with people. So I can't even imagine, for somebody that's way younger and like their energy, and they just want to see their friends and be part of, the society again. And, I don't want to go too much into like political or anything like this, but this period that we're going through reminds me a lot of the period that I grew up in, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And, that's why, I do a lot of events online, and I do this. It's like I try to fill in those holes, and it's definitely very difficult at time, and especially for young children that they don't understand this part. They don't understand, hey, we have to be at home. They don't understand why. And to be honest, I don't understand why either. But again, we're not going to get into that. But I'm really being hopeful that soon enough we'll all return to real life. But in the meantime, I wish you and your kids just the best, Kellianne. I think what you're doing, it's incredible, and I know everything you do is for them. So I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Courtney, you're the last, but not the last, because you know how important you are to me. So tell us, what are you going to be doing this year besides talking to me every Tuesday, and just in the future?
Well, living fully and showing up every day. And I think that piece about just within this climate, understanding how you want to operate. I think what you're saying, Kellianne, is really important. And also Krystsina, about just being a better person, just looking to be a better person, a little bit better. And again, not because you are searching after something that someone else says you should be, but because it just feels good. And so for me personally, I mean, even the same, watching my daughter go to school with these, I mean, luckily in Italy, they've been back in school this whole year. But just seeing her every day with this mask, and knowing that, she's half of the day with this mask covering her face, is something that, again, on our side, I feel like just being able to be the example. And I think that's oftentimes something we forget, is we're not teaching anything to anybody really. We're just being an example. And I think that's what I want to continue for sure throughout the rest of my life, because I also will never stop my work, because I love it. So, and I'm also going to be going online more than I've been used to, because I normally have been doing kind of private things for universities and top corporations and things. And so I'm also looking to be more online this year. So you'll see me more online. I'm going to start doing some workshops. I'm actually doing one next month on money. So I think, especially women need to understand, to all of your points, like how they can be financially independent and live the life that they want, not the life that's prescribed. And so that's on that note. And for inspiration for everybody listening, I just hope you'll watch everyone's presentations and stay connected with all of us, because I know, if you're here, you're a special soul. And if you've listened to this whole thing, you're someone who's really invested in your growth and your well-being. So complimenti, as the Italians say. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you all so much, ladies. Thank you for everything. That's one thing I want is, to achieve that total happiness. And, it takes a lot of personal growth and a lot of personal work on ourselves. It doesn't just come easy, and a lot of people, maybe online that you're watching, they make it look so easy, but I'll tell you that every single one of them that have achieved that level, they put in a lot of work. And because I don't want people to get discouraged. They, a lot of them say, oh, you got to that point, that you're definitely different than me. Like, I'm not that kind of person, but I'm here to tell you that you are. Like, we all struggled. And even if you didn't have to be born in a communist country to be successful, you could have had a completely perfect life and still become successful. You don't have to have like some sorry story for you to become successful, because, just because that's my story, it's just mine. It's just my road. But if you had an amazing family growing up, and you grew up in the middle class or even higher class, you can still be successful. You do not have to have this oh my God, poor me story. We all have our own unique stories, and you can achieve anything and everything that you want. So I don't ever want anybody to be left out. And I wish you all well. And I love every single one of you here. I love everyone that presented. Thank you to Branded by Women. Thank you to all the sponsors, and love you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Branded by Women is back, bigger and louder than before. Packed with 30 sessions taught by women who are leading the way in e-commerce, this event focuses on the vision, strategy, and tactics needed to get you unstuck and moving to the next level. 2020 has seen a growth in online shopping like never before. It had the highest year-on-year growth ever and shows no signs of slowing down. Whether you are just getting started, already own an e-commerce business, or are gearing up for an exit, the Branded by Women speakers will share stories, teach strategies, and give tips for achieving success. Expand your knowledge, be inspired, and let's achieve together.